Hello ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so today's workout. First of all, two items that I want to talk to you before we get to today's workout. One item, me use the belts a lot. Why am I using the belt a little bit more today maybe than I have other workouts? Primarily because my back is jacked from yesterday's squats. It is not a normal occurrence. That is not a typical thing you should expect from the program. I believe in rep 4 of the M10 set, you'll notice that in one position, I leaned forward in one of those movements. And when I did that, my weight was primarily on the ball of my foot. And I pushed through it and I got the leverage again and I pushed myself through. I think that in a combination with the awkwardness of my body that day caused my lower back today to be a little screwy. So I don't want to aggravate it considering how Thursday is really the most difficult day of squats in this whole program in my opinion, and so I want to be ready for that day. Now, which my Thursday, your Friday. Number 2, you'll probably notice that I'm wearing a white shirt, full sleeve shirt, essentially a compression shirt, much like you would see Under Armour put out originally back in the day. Why am I doing that? I don't know. To me, I guess it's just torture. For me, it's more of a way to get acclimated to the heat because it's coming. Here, winter is not coming. Summer's coming, and that's gonna suck. Some of you that are very observant probably noticed I'm not wearing a shirt right now. Shh, this is post-workout. Don't tell anyone. So speaking of observant people, what I want to do today's workout is essentially outline a little bit of the difference between bodybuilding and powerlifting. And essentially, some of you have seen a small trend with these videos. You'll see that these first couple of weeks is a lot of volume. Not particularly sometimes in the reps per se, but in the amount of total workload. So if you were to take the weight that you're lifting, multiply it by the amount of reps, that's total workload. And so what you'll notice is that as we continue throughout the program, the workload is gonna drop and you'll start seeing the program drop to 4 sets of 3, 4 sets of 2, and towards the end, you're gonna be doing maybe singles, maybe doubles, and then you're gonna peak for 1 set towards the end that gives you a good idea of how well you progressed with the work you've put in. And that is really the major difference between powerlifting and bodybuilding. And I wanted to outline that a little bit today because I've been wanting to do a video about it for quite a while. I just haven't had the opportunity to, and quite frankly, this is just a good time to do it. So what's the major difference? Well, the major difference is that with powerlifting, you're not trying to attain the physique per se. It is a result of the program. It's a result of all the workload and the body's need to increase physical performance and increase its capability overall. But it's not the main focus. So with bodybuilding, essentially what you're doing is attacking the muscle, making it work over and over and over. You're probably working with lighter weights. You're probably doing a lot more volume, but the idea is that you're forcing stimulation on the muscle. You're forcing the muscle to work for many repetitions over and over and over and over till it feels like it needs to grow. Let's talk about that one. That was my freaking problem. Having an issue with foot placement. I cannot bring my heels right now down to the ground from what I was telling you guys earlier. And some of that was an issue because I had my toes up here. And then halfway through the rep, you guys notice I moved my toes here. But I've gotten now more used to pushing off of my heels versus my toes. And that last rep, I couldn't do any leverage. In fact, you could tell on rep number 7, there was no leverage. That was a very sloppy rep, right? And with that, you'll probably eventually need to put on more weight or more volume as far as total workload in order for you to continue to stimulate growth. With powerlifting, it's a little bit different because you are not looking for overall growth. What you're looking for is strength gain, and that happens in 2 ways. 1, growth, okay? And because it's just a result of it, you need to get bigger in order to lift weight. Number 2, besides muscle hypertrophy, which means muscle building, there's also the aspect of central nervous system priming and building up. Actually, there's 3 items now that I think about it. Anyway, central nervous system priming, that is a secondary objective. It's essentially what you're doing as you're priming your body for the lift, the competition, if you will. Much like you would for bodybuilding, you prime your body by losing weight. With powerlifting, we are priming towards the end of this program towards the lifts so that we can test again to see what we can do. That is a result of some muscle building, but also some priming of the central nervous system. And that's what gets you the increase in lifting ability. The third item I haven't really talked about is leverages and neural efficiency. These are all fancy words for being able to say that your body can essentially move weight in more an efficient way. So I'll use the deadlift, for example. You'll notice that most people, a lot of people, mostly men, I think, when they start lifting the deadlift, when they start lifting and they start lifting the movement, the deadlift, I don't know if that's phrased correctly, you'll notice that a lot of guys do a Romanian dead or a stiff-legged dead. They don't have the movement pattern correct. And with that means that you need to train your body to essentially lift the weight correctly in a way where every muscle that is needed for that lift activates at the right time with the right sequence and is able to perform all in one unison so that your body can essentially work as a unit to move the weight in the most efficient way for your build and for the movement itself. That seems very, very complicated, but in the end, all it means is that you have to work on your technique. Your technique is going to be slightly individualized, and I do mean slightly, but it is going to be individualized. So the thing that you need to focus on is working on your technique, the most efficient, and then you can work on building muscle and then building up the lift. That's the main difference between bodybuilding and powerlifting. Now, I'm willing to argue that as a powerlifter, you are going to gain as much, if not, well, I'm going to say as much muscle as you would if you were doing bodybuilding programming, if you will. Another key difference is that, or another thing that people don't really mention is that with bodybuilding, you can hit a sometimes simple program. You're essentially hopefully hitting compounds and hitting accessory work with high amounts of volume, low percentages of your 1 rep max in order to achieve goal. With powerlifting, it's the exact opposite. You're not looking for crazy volume, for failure. You're not looking for any of that. Essentially, you have a very strict, very regimented program that allows you to achieve stimulus and back off just enough to recover, achieve stimulus, back off just enough to recover, and then at the end, when you're ready to peak for a meet or peak for a lift, you prime your central nervous system for that lift and then a determined amount of time, whether it's 2-3 weeks, whatever, and then you can go to your powerlifting meet and lift weight. And this again is another proof of how I can rant for a very long time. I hope this was informative. I hope this gave you a little bit of idea of the difference between powerlifting and bodybuilding. And yeah, if you liked the video, hit that like button, and we will see you the next day, I believe, for the next workout. Thanks again for watching.